Released in August 1994, the King of Fighters introduced 24 characters, including figures from various SNK series as well as new, exclusive fighters. The team system, originally created in the Survivor project, was kept to make full use of the extensive roster, setting it apart from other games of the time, like Street Fighter II and Darkstalkers, which had only 8 and 10 characters, respectively. In the King of Fighters, 5 fighters came from Fatal Fury, Terry Bogard, Andy Bogard, Joe Higashi, Mai Shiranui, and Kim Kafwan, and 5 from Art of Fighting, Ryo Sakazaki, Takuma Sakazaki, Yuri Sakazaki, Robert Garcia, and King. Ikari Warriors brought Ralph Jones and Clark Still, while Psycho Soldier, the sequel to Athena, included Athena Asamiya and C. Kenso, establishing the King of Fighters as one of the most diverse fighting games of its time. The success of the King of Fighters pushed Capcom out of its comfort zone, leading to the release of Street Fighter Alpha in 1995, featuring 13 fighters. SNK responded with the King of Fighters 95, adding more characters and a significant new feature. Players could now freely select individual members for their trio, no longer limited to fixed teams. King of Fighters 95 also marked the beginning of the iconic Orochi saga, introducing the powers of the Orochi clan, wielded by both Iori and Omega Rugal, a boss so challenging he became legendary among veteran players. Additionally, this 1995 version signaled SNK's debut as a third-party developer, releasing home versions not only for Neo Geo and Neo Geo CD but also for PlayStation, Saturn, and Game Boy, expanding its reach in the console market. The King of Fighters 96 marked a major technical advancement for the Neo Geo MBS system by breaking its usual 330 megabit cartridge limit with a 362 megabit cartridge. This version introduced a completely reworked game engine and new character sprites, although the rushed development timeline led to production challenges. The game includes specific endings for each team, iconic victory poses. Despite some balance issues, King of Fighters 96 was an experimental release that succeeded in innovating the franchise. It was ported to Neo Geo AES and Neo Geo CD for Western audiences, while Japan received additional ports for PlayStation, Saturn, and Game Boy, the latter also reaching Europe. The King of Fighters 97 had a domestic release similar to its predecessor, with versions for the Neo Geo and Neo Geo CD in the US and for the PlayStation and Saturn in Japan. The game introduced 2 new combat modes, the Extra and Advanced mode. In a landmark moment for the series, fans helped choose new characters through polls in Japanese gaming magazines, resulting in the addition of Ryuji Yamazaki, Blue Mary, and Billy Kane, who together formed the special team. Yamazaki was integrated into the main storyline as one of the 8 servants of Orochi, alongside Shirmi, Yashiro Nanakase, and Chris, forming the sub-boss team in the game. This time, the Game Boy version was set aside as SNK focused on its own portable console, the Neo Geo Pocket, which received the King of Fighters R1 featuring characters in a chibi style to suit the device's reduced graphical capacity. The King of Fighters 98 is the first non-canon title in the series, meaning it does not continue the main storyline. Featuring 38 fighters from the first 4 games, divided into trios, the players face off to see who will battle the series' original boss, Rugal Bernstein. This game is widely regarded as the best King of Fighters edition due to its extensive roster, refined gameplay, based on King of Fighters 97 with key adjustments, and enhanced graphics. While the 98 PlayStation port was restricted to Japan, the Neo Geo and Neo Geo CD versions were also released in the US. In 1999, the game was ported to the Dreamcast as the King of Fighters, Dream Match 1999, reaching both Western and Japanese markets. A portable version, the King of Fighters R2, was also launched for the Neo Geo Pocket Color, maintaining a similar style to its predecessor. The King of Fighters 99, Millennium Battle marked a new phase for the franchise with significant changes. It introduced the Striker system, allowing a 4th character to act as an assistant, occasionally joining the fight to deliver surprise attacks. This mechanic, compared to the success of Marvel vs. Capcom, sparked debates among fans about its necessity. The previous Advanced and Extra modes were removed, replaced with Counter, enabling unlimited special moves, and Armor, which boosted defense. Fan favorites Iori Yagami and Kyo Kusanagi were relegated to secret characters, a decision that upset some players. Initially, they were not planned for the game but were added due to fan demand. The story introduced new protagonists, with Kei taking center stage alongside Maxima, Benimaru Nikaido, and Shingo Ibuki. The final boss, Chrysalid, reveals K's origin as a Nest's agent and the result of an experiment to artificially replicate Kusanagi's powers. The version 99 was ported to Neo Geo CD, PlayStation, and Dreamcast, with the Dreamcast version being the most refined despite modest sales. A revised edition, King of Fighters 99, Evolution, released in 2000, added Chrysalid as a playable character and introduced Vanessa and Seth. The Japanese release allowed content transfer with King of Fighters, Battle to Paradise, for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. In 1999, a year marked by the peace agreement between SNK and Capcom, the two companies, former rivals in the arcade scene, decided to collaborate by combining their iconic franchises. The first title from this partnership was SNK vs. Capcom, The Match of the Millennium, released for the Neo Geo Pocket.
Okay! Alright!
In 2000, Capcom contributed with Capcom vs. SNK, Millennium Fight 2000, available for arcade, Dreamcast, and PlayStation. The collaboration continued with a sequel released in 2001 and culminated in 2003 with SNK vs. Capcom, SVC Chaos. Additionally, a spin-off series of card games based on the partnership continued development until 2006, including releases for the Nintendo DS. In 2000, SNK faced financial difficulties that impacted the King of Fighters 2000. The game had balancing issues and graphic quality problems, but also introduced innovations. The striker mechanics were revamped, allowing more frequent uses and adding special characters like Nakaruru, from Samurai Showdown, and Theo Jeremy, from Metal Slug 2. The storyline continued the Nest saga, with Haydn leading investigations into the organization and entering his team into the tournament. This edition also marked the debut of Kula Diamond, a Nest's creation designed to confront K, adding more depth to the narrative. The King of Fighters 2001 was initially released exclusively for Neo Geo, and later for Dreamcast and PlayStation 2 in 2002, featuring new strikers and stages. The Western version was released in 2003, alongside its sequel. Developed by Eolith with support from Brezasoft and Avoga, KOF 2001 introduced innovations such as the ability to choose the number of playable characters and strikers. This game marked the end of the Nest saga, with the emergence of Igniz, who takes control of the organization. The storyline follows K, Kula, Chrysalid, K9999, and Whip, all of whom are the results of Nest's experiments. K9999 was discontinued from the series due to plagiarism of Tetsuo, a character from Akira. The resemblance was deemed so explicit that it could lead to legal issues, resulting in the character's complete removal from the franchise. Extra content. The Nest saga began in the King of Fighters 99 and concluded in the King of Fighters 2001, follows the secret organization's three main members, Nest's, its founder, Igniz, who betrayed and killed him to become a god, and Misty, Nest's assistant and lover, who disappeared after the group's downfall. The King of Fighters 2002, Challenge to Ultimate Battle, developed by Eolith, served as a celebration of the Nest saga, bringing together iconic characters and reintroducing Rugal Bernstein as the final boss, similar to how King of Fighters 98 did for the Orochi saga. The game was originally released for arcade and Neo Geo in 2002, and later ported to Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. In the same year, the King of Fighters EX, Neo Blood was released for the Game Boy Advance, featuring Mo Habana, an exclusive character for this game, and offering an alternative timeline where the Nest saga never happened. Mo Habana did not appear in any subsequent titles in the series. During this period, SNK's financial troubles did not prevent the continuation of the franchise, with the development being taken over by Iori, while SNK underwent restructuring through Brezasoft and Playmore. Additionally, the fighter Nameless appeared exclusively in the King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match, released in 2009. He was created to replace K9999, maintaining similar abilities but with a different design and backstory to avoid legal issues related to the plagiarism, as mentioned earlier. With King of Fighters 2002 concluding the Nest Saga, it was decided to move away from annual releases to explore spin-offs and new formats for the series. This strategy lasted until SNK was acquired by Playmore, which, after the acquisition, reverted the name to SNK Playmore, marking a new phase for the franchise.
Pick out your partner. Come on. One, fight. Ready!
The King of Fighters 2003 introduced a new tag team combat system, allowing instant character swaps and making fights more dynamic. It was the last game to have annual releases, the first under SNK Playmore, and the final installment on the Neo Geo. This entry also introduced Ash Crimson, who leads the new hero team alongside Duolan and Shenwu as they compete in a new King of Fighters tournament. That same year, the King of Fighters EX2, Howling Blood for Game Boy Advance was released, continuing the events of the original King of Fighters EX. In 2005, it received an N-Gage version called the King of Fighters Extreme. Another title, the King of Fighters Neowave, was the first not to include the release year in its title, setting a new standard for the series. It was ported to PS2 and Xbox.
Come on! Oh!
Meanwhile, the King of Fighters 94 Rebout, a Japan-exclusive PS2 release, featured enhanced graphics to celebrate the franchise's 10th anniversary but was criticized for reusing old sprites.
Characters select! Fight!
With the end of annual releases, King of Fighters, Maximum Impact, 2004, marked the transition to 3D graphics, abandoning 3-on-3 battles and reducing the roster to 20 characters, disappointing many fans. Despite the innovation, the game was criticized for bugs, imprecise hit detection, and poor voice acting. A revised version, King of Fighters Maximum Impact, Maniacs, was later released for Xbox.
Fight!
In 2005, the King of Fighters 11 continued the Ash Crimson saga, introducing new gameplay mechanics. The game's visuals, still based on outdated sprite work, also drew criticism. Ash's story arc would only be concluded years later.
Select your team member.
Go!
King of Fighters Maximum Impact 2, 2006, received a similarly lukewarm reception as its predecessor, despite improvements in gameplay and character roster. The revised version for arcades and consoles, which reintroduced 3-on-3 battles and was built on the Taito Type X Superscript 2 board, was released in the US under the name The King of Fighters 2006 in an attempt to attract fans of the main series. Later, another version, King of Fighters, Maximum Impact Regulation A, was released for arcades and PS2, Japan exclusive, but its planned sequel, Regulation A2, was cancelled to prioritize the development of the next mainline title.
Terry Bogard. Fight! First
Meanwhile, SNK Playmore focused on producing compilations. King of Fighters Collection, the Orochi Saga was released for PS2, 2006, PSP, and Wii, 2008, including King of Fighters 95, 96, and 97 in the Japanese edition, while the Western release also featured 94 and 98. In 2007, the King of Fighters, Nests Collection, PS2, compiled King of Fighters 99, 2000, and 2001, consolidating the Nest Saga in a single package. The years 2008 and 2009 saw the arrival of new remastered editions. King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match was released in Japan for PS2 as a 10th anniversary edition, featuring online gameplay, and the inclusion of the boss team from King of Fighters 96. Meanwhile, King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match, also a Japan-exclusive PS2 release, added several new characters, and became the title with the largest roster in the series, featuring 66 fighters. The King of Fighters 12 released in 2009 marked the franchise's debut on the 7th generation of consoles, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, with a release also for arcade. The game completely overhauled its graphics with high-definition sprites, but was criticized for the lack of extra game modes, an unfinished combat system, and the removal of tactical swaps. Its main innovation was the introduction of critical counters, allowing players to unleash devastating counterattacks.
That all you got?
In the King of Fighters 13 released in 2010, the Ash Crimson Saga came to an end. The console version, 2011, introduced visual novel elements, where player choices influenced the broader understanding of the story. The narrative focused on Ash, who, after stealing the powers of Chizuru Kagura and Iori Yagami, set his sights on his final target, Kyo Kusanagi. Also in 2010, the franchise ventured into a new genre with King of Fighters, Sky Stage, a shooter exclusive to Xbox Live Arcade.
Stage 1, fight!
Between 2011 and 2012, the King of Fighters I and the King of Fighters Android expanded the series into the mobile gaming market. The success of King of Fighters 13 led to the development of the King of Fighters 13, Climax, released in 2012, a revised arcade version that added extra characters from the console release and implemented balance adjustments. This version was later released on Steam in 2013. In 2015, a major Chinese company acquired 80% of SNK, removing "Play More" from its name and reviving the iconic slogan, "The future is now." The first major release of this new era was the King of Fighters 14, 2016, which completely revamped the franchise. The game was the first in the main series to be developed directly for PlayStation 4, with arcade and PC versions released a year later. To transition the series to 3D, SNK enlisted Yasuyuki Oda, a former developer of Street Fighter IV. With a redesigned gameplay system aimed at both veteran and new players, King of Fighters 14 introduced a new storyline following the events of the Ash Chronicles. The tournament was organized by billionaire Antonov, who had no hidden agenda and simply wanted to bring back the spectacle of the event. However, the finals once again led to a mysterious incident. The game launched with 50 characters, plus 8 DLC fighters. Each team had an official background story, adding depth to the tournament's narrative. While the game initially faced criticism for its outdated graphics, a 2017 update significantly improved visual quality. Support for the game continued until 2018, with the release of version 3.0.
Member select. Round 1.
Ready, go! Against them!
In 2018, the series received new titles, including the King of Fighters 97, global match for PS4 and PC with an online mode. The King of Fighters Allstar was released for mobile, a beat 'em up featuring gacha mechanics. The developers still launched special events and collaborations, such as the partnership with Street Fighter V. However, after that, the King of Fighters All-Star was discontinued, possibly due to a decline in the number of players, or so SNK could focus on other projects. SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy was released for PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC, a spiritual successor to SNK Gals Fighters focused on female characters, including Miss X, a disguised Iori, and a female version of Terry Bogard.
Pinball.
The biggest highlight of the year in 2019 was Terry Bogard's inclusion as a DLC fighter in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for Nintendo Switch, representing the King of Fighters with a dedicated stage, marking an important moment for the series. In 2022, a new game in the franchise, The King of Fighters XV, was released for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, continuing the saga introduced in King of Fighters XIV. The game featured significant graphical improvements, new characters, and refined gameplay mechanics. The story follows a new King of Fighters tournament organized by Anastasia, while mysterious phenomena begin to unfold. Shun'ei and Isla, both wielders of supernatural powers, take center stage as the conflict escalates. Meanwhile, a powerful entity known as Rugal returns, posing a new threat. With an expanded roster, enhanced online features, and the return of the 3-on-3 battle system, King of Fighters XV aimed to modernize the franchise while staying true to its roots.
Round 1. Ready, go!
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates. See you next time.